In this video, I'll cover extensions, more specifically, the top 5 extensions for Linux Mint Cinnamon that you can install right now. I'm not referring to complicated tweaks or risky system modifications, but official extensions, available directly from Cinnamon Spices, the official Linux Mint store, which hosts hundreds of add-ons that you can install and use. We'll go through them from number 5 all the way to number 1, each with real, visible features that will completely transform your desktop experience. Before we dive into the top 5, let's talk about the installation process, because it's simple and the same for all the extensions we'll be covering. Open the menu, search for, and open extensions. Here you'll see a window with 2 tabs, Manage and Download. The Manage tab shows the extensions already installed on your system, while the Download tab is the one we're interested in right now. Click on it and you'll see a complete list of all officially available extensions. You can search by name using the search bar at the top. Very handy if you already know which extension you want to install. If you want to find out more about an extension before installing it, click on More Info and you'll be taken directly to the official Cinnamon Spices page, where you'll find the full description, screenshots, and reviews. On the website, in the Extensions section, you can browse all available extensions sorted by popularity with all the details right there. When you find the extension you want, click the Install button. The process is quick and doesn't require a system restart. After installation, the extension will automatically appear in the Manage tab, where you can activate it by clicking the plus button or Enable. The extension will start working immediately, with no additional steps required. Next to each extension, you'll also notice a gear icon or configure button. Most have this option, some don't. Clicking on it takes you directly to that extension's settings, where you can customize its behavior to your preferences. It's recommended to explore these settings after installation, as many extensions have interesting options hidden in there. Now that we know how to install them, let's get to the top 5. At number 5, we have Centered Cinnamon Dock, an extension that moves the bottom bar, the taskbar, and transforms it into a dock centered on the screen, similar to how Windows 11 or Mac OS looks. It seems simple at first glance, but it makes a huge visual difference for anyone who cares about the aesthetics of their desktop. No more having all your applications crammed to the left or spread across the entire width of the bar. Instead, they're neatly arranged in the middle, leaving breathing room at both ends. The result is that your desktop instantly gets a more modern, cleaner, and visually balanced look, without having changed anything else. In terms of customization, the extension offers enough options to adapt it to your preferences. You can adjust the fade animations, meaning the way icons appear and disappear, the transparency of the dock, its width, the zoom scale, which controls how much the icons enlarge on hover, and auto hide, which hides the dock when you're not using it, freeing up even more screen space. It's not an extension with dozens of overwhelming settings, but a well thought out one with exactly the options you need. One thing worth mentioning though, the menu button doesn't look great in the dock. You can tell it's not perfectly integrated visually in this configuration. A simple solution is to move the menu button to a separate panel or remove it from the main bar altogether. If you like the look of a modern, centered dock without giving up Cinnamon or installing a separate one, this is the extension for you. Simple, elegant, efficient. Place 4 in my top goes to an extension that brings to Linux Mint a feature that many users have long wished for, Mouse Shake Zoom. The idea is simple and brilliant at the same time. If you have a large monitor or multiple monitors, or you simply have many windows open and can no longer find the cursor on the screen, all you have to do is quickly shake the mouse, move it rapidly a few times left and right, and the cursor will immediately be highlighted with a visual zoom effect, temporarily increasing its size so it can be easily located. The extension comes with good configuration options. You can adjust how much you need to shake the mouse before the effect activates, how large the cursor becomes during the animation, and how long the cursor stays enlarged before returning to its normal size. This is the kind of extension you didn't know you wanted until you use it, and afterwards you can no longer work without it. Especially if you work at high resolutions or on a multi-monitor setup, this extension quickly becomes essential. I am now entering the territory of truly spectacular extensions, and place 3 in my top belongs without question to one of the most well-known and appreciated extensions, Burn My Windows. If you have ever seen a Linux desktop with absolutely impressive window opening and closing animations, fire, particle effects, portals, there is a good chance it was exactly this extension. Burn My Windows replaces the default and rather dull window animations with downright stunning visual effects. And we are not talking about one or two effects. The extension comes with an impressive collection of options, including fire, windows ignite and burn when you close them, glide, an elegant slide with a blur effect, pixelate, decomposition into pixels, magic lamp, the window is absorbed as if by a magic lamp, portal, the window disappears through a portal, energize A and B, sci-fi teleportation effects, incinerate, dramatic incineration, more detailed than simple flame, doom, for fans of the classic game, and the list goes on. What makes this extension truly flexible is that you can set different animations for each action individually, closing, opening, minimizing, and maximizing, so that every interaction with a window has its own unique effect. Configuration is done through a dedicated settings panel that is clear and easy to navigate. One important warning though, if you are using older hardware or a modest integrated GPU, some effects may impact performance. In that case, choose simpler effects such as glide. But if you have a decent system, Burn My Windows is an extension that completely transforms the way you perceive window interaction. It is simply a joy to open and close applications. Place 2 in my top goes to an extension that brings to Linux Mint one of the most beloved features around the Dynamic Wallpaper. Cinnamon Dynamic Wallpaper automatically changes the desktop background image multiple times throughout the day, based on location or custom time intervals. The transition between images is smooth and subtle, giving the impression that the light in the desktop background evolves naturally as the day progresses. What makes this extension truly special is the richness of features it offers. First of all, it comes with 12 built-in image sets included right out of the box, so you don't need to search for anything online to get started. If you want something more personalized, you can use your own HEIC file or simply a folder with your own images. There is also a one-click image configuration wizard, making everything extremely accessible even for beginners. When it comes to time synchronization, the extension offers 10 individually configurable time periods, and sunrise and sunset calculation is done either online with 3 location estimation providers available, or completely offline by manually entering your latitude and longitude. And a refined detail worth mentioning, the extension can automatically generate a color gradient based on the current wallpaper for images that don't cover the entire screen. The impact of a wallpaper that changes naturally throughout the day is hard to put into words. It has to be experienced. Your desktop gains a temporal dimension, as if it breathes. It is one of those features that, once activated, you can never turn off again. And I have finally reached number 1 in my top. If you were to install just one extension from this list, it should be Blur Cinnamon. And that is not an exaggeration. This extension does not just blur, it transforms the visual appearance of the entire desktop. The end result is a frosted glass look, elegant and modern. What makes this extension truly remarkable is the large number of interface components to which you can apply these effects. Desklet backgrounds, the desktop wallpaper, desktop notifications, the panel, and more. When you first enter the settings in the general setup section, the first thing I recommend activating is desktop background, which applies the blur effect directly to the desktop wallpaper. A very interesting detail here is that the effects on the desktop can be applied at all times or only when a window is in focus, which creates a subtle and refined visual effect. The second thing to activate is pop-up menus, so that the menu becomes transparent and takes on that modern frosted glass look. From the configuration panel, you can control the intensity of the effects for each element individually, as well as the brightness and saturation levels, so that everything matches perfectly with your theme and wallpaper. The final visual effect is, without exaggeration, one that makes Linux Mint look better from an aesthetic standpoint. Combined with a good theme, a nice icon pack, and the dynamic wallpaper, Blur Cinnamon puts the finishing touch on a dream desktop. Number 1 in my top, without a doubt. The beauty of Linux Mint lies precisely in this flexibility. You can keep a stable, fast, and easy-to-use system and still customize it down to the smallest visual detail. These extensions are the perfect proof of that philosophy. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Linux Mint content. Leave a comment with your favorite extension or any others you would recommend. See you in the next video.